Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic Chance the Trader, who is going to be coming to the game as the final Lone Wolves Allegiance character, at least for now, as all the characters that were originally teased will be released. Now visually we have had a trader in the game before, a couple of traders in fact, and they have generally been pretty good characters, so there's a lot of competition there when it comes to the best trader potentially. But as a lone wolf character, he looks like he could be fitting in pretty well. I'm mainly looking at the specialist skill here when it comes to using the lone wolves and kind of figuring out what they kind of need, and that specialist skill is going to be very, very useful indeed. The visuals look really cool. He's got two gold Uzis by looks of things, and animations he does shoot both of them, which is very interesting indeed. On the left hand side you can see he's got that gold Uzi blasting away, and he's got a gun case on his shoulder. Very interesting. And the doggo, of course. We'll have to find out who's the doggo. What's their name? I don't think we'll find out in this clip here, but we'll see. At level 1,440 limit break 3, he has got 17,638 attack, 30,867 defense, and 39,686 HP. He is going to be an alert character. He is going to be of the control role, of course a gold mythic, and like I said, he is going to be joining the Lone Wolves Allegiance, and like I said again, the last at least for now. Now first off we'll look at Chance the Trader's Adrenaline Rush, and it is called Ready to Roll. It's a 66 AP cost rush. Revive 2 teammates with 50% of their max HP. All teammates get 40% attack for each Lone Wolves teammate for 2 turns. So the way I'm reading this, obviously the revive comes in first, which is nice. Then the buff comes in afterwards, and depending on the amount of Lone Wolves you've got, depends on how big that buff is going to be. And if you've got a full team of Lone Wolves, that would mean every character on the team would get a 200% attack buff for 2 turns. The main downside I see for this, obviously, is because of the specialist skill, which is Command. This is not likely to go off super often, or like at least super quick. I would have preferred it be a lot cheaper to do. 55 AP for instance, unless there's something in Chance the Trader's kit which means he can gain AP in other ways, maybe in that signature move, maybe in those passives, maybe even on the weapon. We'll have to check it out, but this might not come up until later on in the fight, but it'll basically be a finishing move. If this actually does happen, like turn 3, 4, so on and so forth, the team that he's in is going to get so massively buffed, and they'll basically nuke an enemy, especially if there are a lot of Lone Wolves in that team. Okay, so here we are on the attack team, and we have got that Adrenaline Rush up. If I use it, you'll see that it doesn't do any damage. 2 characters on my team would have been revived, but as you can see, my entire team now has 80% attack buff, and this is because Trader is going to be a Lone Wolf character, and so is Eva and Ghost. So that'll be 2 times 40, meaning 80. If I had 3, it would go to 120, 4, 160, and the max, if you had a full Lone Wolves attack team, it would go to 200% attack buff. It is for 2 turns. Any attacks that come after this are going to be nice, even if it's just with like 2 characters. Even if it's just with 1, honestly, 40% attack is pretty nice. But 200% attack is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But like I said, it won't go off super quick, just based on him not gaining as much AP if he does do his command action. Now going straight into the upgrades, we can see at grade 3 it gets plus 20% attack on the buff. So initially it is a 20% attack buff for each Lone Wolves teammate, but then it goes up to 40% attack buff for each Lone Wolves teammate. At grade 5 it gets an upgrade where it revives 2 teammates with 25% of their max HP. And then at grade 2, it upgrades their grade 5 from 25% of their max HP up to 50% of their max HP, which is obviously quite nice. On an attack team, the percentage HP generally needs to be higher than a defense team to be like good, because obviously a 50% defense team character is going to be at 30 to 40k HP, whereas an attack team character is going to be at like 10k HP with 50%. So yeah, they can get eliminated really quick. Obviously, when you revive a teammate on an attack team, you get to take their turn, and because the attack buff comes in after the revive, this is going to be a nice little bonus. You can't necessarily rush because you won't have the AP, but you will be able to signature move. And the signature moves with a 200% attack buff on a full Lone Wolves team, especially characters like, you know, Wanderer, Eva and Ghost, even Michonne, because she can much more ensure that she's going to get a follow-up, could be very, very nice indeed. So yeah, quite a nice adrenaline rush. The only issue I find with it is just it's a bit slow when it comes to a command. The adrenaline rushes aren't super quick there. Unless he gets focused in some way, there could potentially be taunts in his kit. We'll have to wait and see. But he does need to gain AP somehow to get this adrenaline rush to go up. Especially in a full Lone Wolves team. Because they're so strong, they're most likely going to destroy a team before he can even get this off anyway. Just because of their pure power. But I would say mainly this adrenaline rush would be as a bonus, or things start falling apart for your team. The revives are definitely nice for sure. So yeah, decent. If it does go off, it is required. Characters have been taken out. That team didn't have any revives in it as it stood, so this is definitely adding that. Now the next part of Chance the Trader's kit we're going to look at is called Helpful Odds. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 1, cooldown of 1 turn, number of uses unlimited. One other teammate gets 150% attack for 1 turn, but there's a 20% chance that 2 other teammates get 100% attack for 1 turn instead. And then lastly, 3 other teammates recover from daze. This is kind of interesting. I don't think it's too terrible if, you know, the 20% does occur. 2 characters getting 100% attack can be seen as a better, even in some cases, than the 1 character getting 150%. It's all based on who it lands on. It won't land on Chance the Trader himself because it does say other teammate or other teammates. So it's just basically, will it land on, let's say, will it land on Philip Blake? That's pretty much it, because the other 3 characters do a lot of damage, and this is going to be a massive boost. And based on the kind of attack boost those other characters can get, mainly Eva and Ghost, this will stack with their kind of intrinsic buffs from their own passives when they get boosted based on the enemy team having effects. So this will be a massive stack, particularly for Eva and Ghost there. 3 teammates recovering from daze is awesome. Like, honestly, this is awesome because daze is everywhere, and this isn't just Lone Wolves characters, this is anyone. So Chance the Trader could potentially work in any team you wanted to take in, and that is very nice indeed. It does hard counter Alpha, because she does daze 3 characters on her leader skill. So as long as Chance the Trader doesn't get dazed himself, or maybe has something else in his kit to make sure that he can't be dazed, this is going to hard counter Alpha lead. The only way you could really get through this potentially is if you had a full team daze, which definitely can happen. There are characters that can do 2, there are characters that can do 3, and they could be in the same team. And I've had a full team daze before, so it's not very nice indeed. And yeah, Chance the Trader getting that signature move off could be very nice. But the issue you've got with the signature move is if you signature move, you can't command. I guess you could base it off of whether you need to, you know, recover daze or not. But the attack buff, regardless, is very nice. Okay, so we're going to start the fight against an Alpha defense lead. And as you can see, she has dazed 3 of my teammates. Whatever shall I do? Well, I've got Chance the Trader, so I can do his signature move. This is going to give an attack buff to 1 character, but potentially 2. And the attack buff does go on to Laura in this case, by the looks of things. But someone else should have got an attack buff as well, because she got 100%. And the other one went on to Clementine. So this was the 20% chance proc. But more importantly, all of them no longer have daze. This is the really important part. It doesn't matter about the attack buff so much. If you can't do your signature moves, you're going to do basic attacks off of turn 1. The daze cleanse is the biggest thing. And I think we're really missing daze cleanse on attack teams. So Trader obviously adding this is very nice indeed. And you can see I can just freely use the signature moves as the rest of my characters right now. And a couple of my characters are getting an attack buff on top, which is very nice indeed. You're very unlikely to have a Laura in the same team as a Trader. You're most likely going to have 3, maybe even 4 characters that have potential damage output, especially if you have it in a full Lone Wolves team. And that way, those attack buffs are much more likely to land, at least, on someone who's going to do significant damage. The only issue you've got, like I said, with the Lone Wolves team is it landing on Philip Blake. But at least maybe he just get a damage boost, because his damage does seem very, very underwhelming. And it's very strange how little damage he does, honestly. If we look at the upgrades on the signature move, you can see at grade 2, it gets an upgrade where 1 other teammate recovers from daze. And that is just going to be an initial upgrade from this signature move, it will just be a single target recover. At grade 4, it'll be -1 to starting cooldown, so it'll go from turn 2 starting cooldown down to a turn 1 starting cooldown. This is coming in nice and early. A lot of the time they push this down to LB3 and it becomes quite, you know, repetitive when they have -1 starting cooldown at LB3, but it's going to be at grade 4, which is very nice indeed. At limit break 1, you're going to get plus 50% attack boost, and I guess this would be on both of the buffs, so it'll go from 100% up to 150%, and also 50% up to 100% on the 20% chance. Then at LB3, it gets plus 2 days recover targets, so that cleanse goes from 1, you know, other teammate recovering from days up to 3 other teammates recovering from days. This is quite important. It is on the LB3 as well, but even if you're only recovering 1 character from days, it is pretty good. So if you've got 1 copy of this character, it still could be pretty decent. You can do it off of turn 1. It'll be a nice attack buff, nice and early. This could potentially have some low level entry for someone who has limited amount of tokens, but definitely LB3 is the top tier. Getting the character to be able to cleanse 3 teammates from days is extremely nice indeed. Now I know what some of you are probably thinking, well, what if Chance the Trader gets, you know, dazed himself? We'll check that out later in the video, but I think it's going to be absolutely fine based on other parts of his kit, because I have already checked it out just to see, hey, well, if that happens, well, maybe it's not as good. It should be absolutely fine. So yeah, very nice signature move. Daze Cleanse has been massively missing on attack teams, and that's what we're going to be getting here with Chance the Trader. Now, Chance the Trader is going to be an advanced token wheel character, so we're going to be giving away 10,000 advanced tokens to 1 lucky winner, and all you have to do is type in the chat down below the entry phrase, which will be a bit longer than normal. It will say, "The doggo is called," and you have to tell me what you think the dog's name is. Chance the Trader has a friendly companion, and I want to see those guesses. If you do not type a name and you win the giveaway, I will re-roll you. This is very rare that I do this, but you actually have to type a name that you think the doggo is called. Best of luck if you enter. Now back to the video. Now here are Chance the Trader's mythic abilities. These are his passive skills. He has of course got Cunning because he is a support character. This means when attacking or being attacked, he is 30% less likely to trigger enemy weapon effects and walker effects. He isn't going to be attacking too often, but he could be attacked. But most defense team characters don't have on attack, you know, application of any sort of control or anything. So I don't think this is going to be too important when it comes to Trader here. The next one is called Stun Proof. At the start of each wave, all Lone Wolves, Allegiance, and 2 other teammates get 100% stun resistance for 2 turns. This is nice, and it also plays into the potential of what I think is going to be quite a nice team, where it potentially be Wanderer and Eva and Ghost, and potentially Trader plus 2 others, because you can dictate other parts of Trader's kit, namely the next passive, which is Go Again. When performing the defend action, a random damage roll teammate recovers from all negative effects and gets plus 50% AP. In the team I just said, with Wanderer, Eva and Ghost and Trader, there are no damage roll characters, so you could potentially put another character in there that's a damage roll, and you know it's going to, you know, go to that character. In the full Lone Wolves team, it would always happen to Michonne, so that's kind of interesting. It would always cleanse Michonne, and it would always give her 50% AP. The last passive is called Who Wants It. At the start of each turn, an equal chance that either this fighter or 2 other teammates get 50% Halo for 1 turn. That means there's a 50% chance Trader will get Halo for 1 turn, or there's a 50% chance that 2 of his teammates will get Halo for 1 turn. I would prefer it would be Halo for 2 turns, just based on the fact that the back and forth potential. But this is quite nice. Obviously, you probably prefer it to go to teammates, because those are ones that are going to get things like reflected, and they're going to be lower HP, generally not going to have as heavy survivability. But Chance the Trader does have revives in his kit if they go down, and they didn't have the Halo, so it's not as bad. But this is pretty good when it comes to the Halo. Definitely going to help any attack team, because that doesn't say anything about Lone Wolves. It's 100% just any teammate that it lands on. It doesn't matter about their allegiance. Okay, so here we go again, and as you can see, the Halo has landed on Trader himself this turn. 50-50 chance whether it will land on him or 2 teammates will get Halo instead. Now you can see that Forsaken Michonne is dazed. I could use my signature move to make it so that Michonne can obviously get cleansed, but there is a little thing you could do here that could be quite interesting. I could do a basic attack, gain a little bit of AP, not enough to kill the character, but now when I command her with Chance the Trader, it should cleanse the negative effect, and that negative effect could be anything. And then she'll gain 50% AP, and if you know how follow-up characters work, I will rush, get my AP again, and then I'd be able to rush again. So you could potentially rush twice off of turn 1, doing this little tactic. You don't have to have negative effects on the character to do this. You could just do a basic attack off of turn 1, and then instantly command Michonne, and she's going to rush twice. Her signature move is very powerful, but it's not guaranteed to take someone down. The rush is more likely to, for sure. Now, it wouldn't just be Michonne that it'd work on, but that would be primarily who it would be working on in a Lone Wars team. But obviously, any damage roll character that you had, it would happen. Now, if you had 2 damage roll characters, it would be 50-50 pretty much on who it would land on. You wouldn't be able to guarantee it. In a Lone Wars team, it is guaranteed to be Michonne. Now, if we look at the upgrades here on the passives, you can see at grade 1, the first half of Stun Proof comes in, where at the start of each wave, all Lone Wolves Allegiance teammates and 2 other teammates get 50% stun resistance for 2 turns. At grade 2, the first half of Cunning comes in, where he's less likely to proc enemy weapons based on being attacked or attacking them, and this also helps against walkers. At grade 3, Stun Proof 2 comes in, where it goes up to 100% stun resistance for all Lone Wolves plus 2 teammates. And then we have at grade 4, the first half of Go Again. When performing the defend action, a random damage roll teammate recovers from all negative effects and gets 20% AP. And at grade 5, Who Wants It Part 1 comes in. At the start of each turn, an equal chance that either this fighter or 2 other teammates get 20% Halo for 1 turn. So even if you only get, 1 or 2 versions of Trader in your pulls, he'll still get guaranteed procs on all of his passives. They just will not be as strong on grade 4 and 5. But they do get fully maxed out when you go into the limit breaks. Cunning 2 comes in, where it goes up to 30% chance less likely to proc weapons when attacking or being attacked. And at limit break 2, Go Again 2 comes in, where a random damage roll character gets 50% of their max AP now, and they'll still recover from all negative effects. And at limit break 3, Who Wants It 2 comes in, where it'll be 50% Halo for Chance the Trader or 2 other teammates for 1 turn. Now, I think the passives are very nice here. They're going to help for attack teams. Trader is 100% an attack team command. He's not going to be very good on defense at all, unless you want to try and somehow team him up with Morgan, because he would be that lone wolf on defense, but he's not a damage roll, so he's not going to get the AP situation, so it isn't going to be as effective. Definitely usable on an attack team for sure. Very effective in a Lone Wolves attack team, no doubt. And the AP boost from these passives is kind of what was missing. I did try and use Laura in that Lone Wolves attack team, but she didn't get the counter damage reduction, so she would kind of get obliterated by paybacks and so on and so forth. That's not going to happen with Trader if you do have Philip Blake as the leader, and that's going to be very nice indeed. Michonne getting those buffs is going to be good. She is the character that, generally speaking, is going to do much higher nuke damage. I know other characters like even Ghost do have very high potential, but they aren't going to be able to do as high damage as Michonne on a consistent basis. Michonne's signature move and rush are always going to be doing good damage, and you want to try and get that rush off as early as possible. And as I showed with the clip before, you can potentially get to go off twice on turn 1 with Chance the Trader and Michonne as a combo. Now, I've talked about it a little bit as we've been going through the different parts of Trader's kit, and I did show it in action during the passive clip. Now, specialist skill is command. When this fighter defends the previous ally to take an action, this turn will receive a bonus action. That ally will be unable to act the next turn. This team up is primarily going to be for Michonne, but you can command anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be Michonne, but Michonne off of turn 1 will get the instant team up on a Lone Wolves attack team. After that, it's based on who you want to, use it on. You could potentially do it on someone else. You could potentially do it on turn 2 command rush the Wanderer, and then he'd be able to attack a lot of enemies, you know, disarming lots of characters. It's up to you what you want to do past turn 1, but like I say, primarily it's going to be Trader plus Michonne off of turn 1. Massive damage. If you don't do Michonne's signature move, regardless if she gets controlled, she could potentially get like impaired when she does her attack. He'll cleanse it because it also cleanses her first, then gains the AP, and then she'll be able to rush twice. The combo is very nice there with the command and those passives. Now this is not all, of course. There is a weapon here, and it is Chance the Trader's dual SMGs. They have got 40% attack, 40% HP, daze recover at the start of each turn. This fighter recovers from dazed, and in the last slot it has improved 1535, give 25% attack and 35 crit to this fighter and all adjacent teammates. I'd say this is 100% the perfect weapon for Trader. The daze recover is going to come in, so he'll always be able to do his signature move to recover other people's dazes. This means that potentially he could recover up to 4 dazes on the first turn, because he'd recover his own with his weapon, plus 3 with his signature move. Very nice indeed. The improved 1535 is very, very much needed. The attack team for Lone Wolves has very few 1535 potential. A lot of them in the 4 slot have like things like you want to ransack potentially on Wanderer. You want to use the base weapon on Eva and Ghost for the 100% crit. And then potentially you want to use the base weapon on Michonne, or another weapon on Michonne which does give bonuses that isn't a 1535. So you need to get boosts from somewhere, and the leader alone is okay, but this is going to be very nice. This does mean whoever is next to Trader is going to get a massive attack boost. Now it's up to you who you want to do when it comes to Lone Wolves team, whether you want to use like Michonne or Eva and Ghost. Those are the two that I see primarily as the best choices. Now, if you were going to use Trader in a non-Lone Wolves attack team, I'd still use your primary damage dealer next to this character, just because the improved 1535 at 25% attack, a bit more crit chance as well on the 35, is always very nice indeed. So this was a first look at Gold Mythic Chance the Trader, and like I said, he is going to be coming to the game as an advanced token wheel character, and he is going to be very nice for a Lone Wolves attack team. I think he'll be good regardless, but when I've been using the Lone Wolves team, and it's going to be Eva and Ghost, Wanderer, Philip Blake, and Michonne, I've been kind of lacking someone to give me an extra chance or add survivability. And he does a bit of both. You know, the halos are going to come in, the potential revives, the extra attack is very nice, the cleanse on the days is great, and the potential heavy nukage turn 1 with Michonne is fantastic, because if she does miss that signature move, and she can, these defense teams are so, you know, tanky, where she doesn't take out an enemy, then she's obviously going to miss out doing her rush off of turn 1. That means she's going to have to do a basic attack on turn 2, and you hate to see it. Whereas that's never going to happen with Chance the Trader. You'll do her signature move off of turn 1, and even if you don't get a takedown, you command her with Chance the Trader, she'll always get 100% AP, and she'll always be able to rush twice in that situation. If you want to do it as a basic attack, you would need to have an AP weapon somewhere, and that would primarily be on a different attack team, because there are no fast characters on the Lone Wolves attack team, so no one can hold those cheeky 8%. But I think he's good, and I think he's going to fit into a Lone Wolves attack team very well. I will test it out and see how that goes, but like I said, I think he's going to be good even in a non-Lone Wolves team, and potentially even at low grade. 4 and 5 doesn't look too bad, because he does get a turn 1 signature move. It's just going to be only one character recovering from days, but that could be enough for you if you have a good idea about it. Do tell me what you think though of Gold Mythic Chance the Trader. Do you think he fits well into a Lone Wolves attack team, a non-Lone Wolves attack team? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Best of luck if you enter the giveaway. Make sure you enter properly. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.